Hello, I'm Rudy from benifero.eu. With Benifero, we have developed the WiFiPOOL system, which allows us to control and adjust your swimming pool in a simple way. The WiFiPOOL system has some great advantages. Firstly, it is modular and therefore over time can be implemented step by step in your pool or spa. Because it is modular, it is also very convenient to install. And thirdly, it is a versatile system accessible to everyone in terms of price, and can be installed in underground and above ground swimming pools and spas. An additional advantage of WiFiPOOL is that it can be used in new installations and to retrofit old installations without investing a lot of money. To use the system, 3 functions are required. Before managing, we need to measure. Once accomplished, we can steer devices that control and adjust measures. Thirdly, both are connected to our mobile phone. That way it becomes very easy, for example, to switch on a filter pump, to start a heater, open a solar valve, or adjust pH and redox values. Let's go back to our initial requirement, which is measuring. To accomplish this, we have developed several Wi-Fi connectable measurement modules. This, for example, is a module to measure pH, flow and level. Via a USB plug, we power up the measuring module, which immediately transmits a Wi-Fi signal. We can pick up that Wi-Fi signal with our mobile phone and couple the module to our new remote. Once done, the module starts emitting a coupling request, which we can pick up in our WiFiPOOL app. Once coupling is successful, we can pair, let's say, a platinum redox probe, a flow switch in this case, or a level switch we all connect to our measuring control box. Finally, we'll be able, via our mobile phone, to read out what the current redox concentration is. If there's water circulation and proficient level, for example in the acid or chlorine container, that will be injected into the water circulation. Now that we have installed the measurements of our pool, we can start controlling and steering the pool. And via WiFiPOOL, this can be accomplished very easily with Wi-Fi plugs, smart plugs. Depending on required capacity, smaller plugs up to 10 amps and slightly larger ones up to 16 amps. In certain devices, we are able to directly implant a chip. This allows the device to become smart without a plug. For the plug, we apply a similar method. We plug it into 220 volts. It is going to emit a Wi-Fi signal, and we can link that Wi-Fi signal to our mobile phone. Once accomplished, through an automation we set up in the program, we can decide whether electricity is coming through the plug or not. At that point, it becomes very easy to introduce an automation. For example, I have here a standard peristaltic pump, which comes with a plug. I connect that peristaltic pump to the plug so I can measure my redox via the measuring module. If the redox is too low, the plug starts to power up the peristaltic pump and chlorine is pumped into the pool. The moment the measurement module detects the redox value is sufficient, the plug will stop powering peristaltic pump. In this way, it becomes very easy to retrofit even an existing installation with WiFiPOOL. We can operate the WiFiPOOL very easily with our mobile phone. Let's look how it works. This is the main screen of the app, with which you can very easily, by tapping the screen, browse through the different set parameters. So very quickly you can see what the pool or spa condition is. Another screen shows us a list of modules we connected earlier, which automations we have set up, and which plugs and measuring devices are configured. To add devices, nothing is easier than tapping the plus sign and do what the app requires you to do. A third element is the graphs. For example, this is a graph of the temperature over 3 days. You can see that during the day, the temperature goes up the moment the water starts circulating. During the day, the temperature rises by a connected heat pump and solar system. At night, because the water is stationary, the measuring point cools down fairly quickly to a minimum. But as soon as we activate the flow, the temperature spikes again. We can witness little peaks here. That is at the moment when the sun starts shining and we receive extra heat in the pool, another example of a retrofit. We have a measuring module here for RX that measures redox. We have a standard salt electrolyzer. I am connecting the salt electrolysis with the smart plug and program the smart plug via the smartphone. In a way it will power up the salt electrolyzer, but only when there is too little chlorine in the pool. The moment there is enough chlorine, the salt electrolysis will stop automatically. We can use the flow module to set an additional condition in the WiFiPOOL app. If there is no flow for safety, the salt electrolysis should stop. In this way, we can link our different measurement modules to different devices. For example, we have the pH module. We can link that module to a peristaltic pump. Our redox module is typically paired with a salt electrolyzer or to a peristaltic chlorine pump. Then we also have a TLF module. TLF stands for temperature, level and flow. With this, for example, we measure the temperature and link it to a heat pump, to an electric heater or to the control of a solar heater via a suitable three-way valve. Often, a flow switch is used as a safety because certain devices should not inject chemicals without a flow. Additionally, via a smart plug, we can, for example, stop a paired UV light the moment the flow drops. The level switch can be used to measure the water level in the pool or in the containers that add chlorine and acid into circulation. As such, we can also stop the dosing device at the moment the low level is reached in a container. Such automatic precautious interventions can send an alarm to our phone via the app. So we as a pool user receive a signal that we need to change the chlorine or acid container. With Benifero, we always take it a step further because we stand behind engineering plug-and-play systems. For this, we produced a completely pre-assembled salt electrolyzer. The salt electrolyzer, pH and redox modules are already pre-mounted on a plate. Also the dosing pump and the dosing tube. All connections are made. All the customer need to do is connect it with rubber sleeves, which we supply also. Automating the modules is done in one go because the smartphone is going to recognize the fully automated salt electrolysis system. So both installation and operation becomes very easy. The same has been done with a chlorine and acid dosing device. And as with salt electrolysis, we also have a whole pre-assembled plate with a WiFiPOOL twin on it. By twin we mean two almost identical peristaltic pumps. One pumps chlorine into the pool, the other pumps acid into the pool to keep pH and chlorine levels constant. Like the salt electrolysis duo, everything is pre-mounted on a plate. All pre-manufactured, everything pre-programmed. So pairing to the smartphone will also be done with a few taps. Summarized with Benifero plug-and-play products, we manufactured a WiFiPOOL system that is modular, simple technology, easy to use, and as such brought on the UK market at affordable prices. Connectable to above and below ground pools and spas. Convinced. We are ready to assist.